What's going on, guys? Welcome to my attractiveness tier list. So, this is a tier list that I've made myself where basically I'm rating what makes a guy attractive to women. Alright? So, we're gonna go through each position and we're gonna start at the top of the list, which is S tier, she lust over you. So basically, guys, when a woman lust over you, she's pretty much simping for you. Everywhere you go, women notices you. Like they really notices you. A lot of them, they're gonna stare at you, and they very hardly can't stop looking at you. They want to have sex with you, and they want to lock you up. Especially if you have sex with them, like you're so good looking, you don't even have to be good in bed. You're just so good looking that you sleep with them and they want to be in a relationship with you, like they're very simping over you. So this is the S tier, she lust over you, and that does happen to some guys, like it's pretty I'm not sure if it's rare, but it does happen to some guy, you know So then we have in the A tier, very attractive guy. So you pretty much have most of the qualities of the S tier, but she's not necessarily simping over you. She might really want to sleep with you, but then after you slept with her, she might just doesn't really care. She's not gonna try her best to lock you down. You're not really gonna attract as many stares from women as the guy in the S tier, but you're still gonna attract a lot. It's gonna be very easy for you to sleep with a lot of girls, and it's gonna be very easy to be in a relationship with them too. Just like you're pretty much at the top, but not quite as much as someone in the S tier. So those guys never have any problem with women. Then in the B tier, we have relationship material. So here we have qualities that makes a man very desirable to women for a long-term relationship. We're gonna go over them later in the video, but yeah. So there's not much to say here. We're gonna go straight to the C tier, which is she would smash with you. So some of you guys might be confused, why did I put would smash under relationship material. I put it under because the bar is pretty low for women to sleep with you. You might think otherwise. Yeah, some people have really difficulty to sleep with women. That's because you don't know how to do it. But once you understand women, you're gonna notice like it's pretty easy. She would much more it's way more easier to sleep with a woman than to lock up a woman. So the bar is pretty low when you know how to do it. So then we have in the D tier, she notices you. So you have just enough quality to have one step in, but not quite for you to have sex with you or to be in a relationship. Just to go over the C tier again, sometimes a lot of women are just looking for a good enough guy that she's attracted to have sex with, because women are horny. Especially like there is a phase in the month where they're like super horny and they can barely like control themselves. And when they don't have access to the S tier or to the A tier and they are not in a relationship, a lot of them will settle for a less than ideal man to have sex with. So which is why the bar to smash for women, it's pretty low. It's not as low as men. Like a lot of men, the bar is like at the bottom of the list. Like maybe in the Z tier, but for women it's pretty low too. Okay, let's get going. So we went over the D tier. She notices you, but not quite to have like all the above. Then we have the friend zone. So the friend zone, guys, is like you're displaying a lot of qualities that would make a woman want to be in a relationship with you, but she doesn't really have that sexual attractiveness, you know. So when you're displaying a lot of qualities for you to be in a relationship with women, but she doesn't see you as a potential sexual partner, she's gonna put you in the friend zone, you know. And we're gonna go over all that list in this video, and I'm gonna explain to you a little bit the dynamic behind every sign of attractiveness that women are looking for to get what you desire from them. So without any further ado, let's get started. So which one should I pick first? Let's see. So we're gonna have like your smell. You know, to be an attractive guy, guys, you really need to have like a nice body odor. You know, but it's not like just to smell good alone won't make much for you. But let's say you go out in public, you're at the gym or you're just outside or you're in a club or whatever, you're out there like where there's women. If you have a nice perfume, she's definitely gonna notice you, you know. So I'm gonna put it in the detail because just good smell alone won't get you to smash or be in a relationship or all the above, you know. It's only gonna get you like the foot in, but you gotta display way more than that to have access to them, you know. So I'm gonna put it in the detail. All right, then which one should I go after? Let's see, let's go with muscular. Let's start strong, you know. You have a nice physique, you have a muscular physique. So this one is kind of a tricky one, but it's not really if you understand women. So I'm pretty sure that you've seen on YouTube like a lot of street interviews where they compare like a very muscular guy to a scrawny guy, and like women all the time like they're gonna choose the scrawny guy. Now I'm gonna explain to you why that's the case. It's not that women are lying, you know. Like it might be counterintuitive for guys to think that, you know, like they prefer like the scrawny guy over the muscular guy. No, they don't, but they're not lying either, you know. When those guys are asking women in the street which one do they prefer, women are looking at it they're looking at it through the lens of a relationship, you know. They're not like us where we know that when we're asked which one is more attractive, it's based on physical attractiveness, you know. For us guys it's really clear, but for women, when you ask them that question, they're thinking about potential long-term relationship. Which one is the biggest potential for them that the guy will stay faithful to them, you know. It's the more safe option for a long-term relationship, you know. With us guys, like it's pretty straightforward. Which one is the more attractive? It's the most beautiful girl, you know, the most physically attractive girl. But when you ask that question to a woman, they are not understanding it like us guys, you know. For us it's straightforward. For them it's like which guy feels the best, which one is the best safe option for them for a long-term relationship. If you're a muscular dude and you're able to show her that you're a safe option for the long term, she will prefer the muscular dude. It's not based on physical attractiveness like us guys, you know. So that's why it's a little bit like hard for us like to understand, yo, that doesn't make any sense. How you're gonna select the skinny guy over the muscular guy? It's because the muscular guy, like unconsciously, the muscular guy displays a lot of unstable qualities that doesn't make like a good potential long-term partner, you know. But he makes like an excellent partner for short-term sex, but not for long-term relationship. So women are looking at them like that, you know. But I'm gonna put it in the S tier because if you're a muscular guy, guys, she's gonna want to smash you, you know. That's like one of the biggest attractive qualities you can have, is to be muscular, you know. Especially if we're gonna go over the list, but she's really gonna simp over you. don't let anybody tell you otherwise. She's gonna pick the muscular guys. Like, if she's really horny and she's only looking to sleep with you, she's gonna bang like the guy who's muscular, you know. If she wants to be in a relationship material, if let's say for example you're muscular but you're displaying relationship qualities, she's gonna pick the muscular guy. But if you're only muscular but you don't have any of the relationship qualities, you won't be able to be in a relationship with her, you know. It's gonna be like a risky choice for her. But when you're skinny, you're displaying more soft qualities that women are looking for long-term relationship. So I'm gonna put it in the S tier. If you're muscular, they're gonna lust over you, even if they're not gonna admit it publicly. All right, let's go to the next one. So this one will be the fashion. So guys, how you dress is one of the biggest thing that's gonna make you attractive to women. You know, it's very high up there. I'm not sure where to put it quite exactly, but a lot of time, if you know how to dress well, it's very difficult to go wrong, you know. You pretty much can get everything you want from women if you're displaying like good social status with how you dress, you know. So I think I'm gonna put it in A, very attractive, you know, because to be in the S tier you need to display more qualities than that, you know, more primitive qualities to be in the S tier, you know. In the A tier, with fashion you're gonna be like very attractive, but not quite as in the S tier where she's really gonna lust over you, you know. So I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Like, it could go lower, like in the D tier where she notices you, you know. But if you're displaying like good enough qualities, you know, you can go a long way with how you dress. All right, let's go to the next one. So this one, guys, will be your body composition. So putting aside if you're a jack dude, your body composition, I think, in my opinion, is pretty much overrated. Unless we go to the extreme, like you're super skinny, like really skin over bones, or you're just balloon fat, you know, like people are looking at you and you're just about to explode. This one, guys, is very like those ones are very not attractive, you know. But otherwise, just in between, it's good enough for women, you know. So I'm gonna put it in relationship material. You can get in a relationship with women even if you don't have an ideal physique. You can be fat. Like, some women love like fat guys, you know, not too fat, but like a high enough body fat percentage is acceptable. And you can be skinny, but to a certain point, you know. So this one, guys, is not like that much of a deal. Like, women's gonna judge you on way more than that for them to have sex with you or whatever, you know. So yeah, you can have pretty much any kind of body, or it's fine, you know. This one is kind of overrated, you know. It's just like when you're super muscular, it's kind of a hack to sleep with women, you know, like you're gonna stand out so much. So that's why I put them like in different categories. But otherwise, if you're not that jacked, or you're not that fat, or you're not that skinny, it's fine. So I think I'm gonna put it in the C tier with Smash, because you can have sex with women like with pretty much any kind of body. All right, let's go to another one. And the next, I'm gonna select a nice haircut. Nice haircut. Okay, so having a nice haircut is pretty much it's gonna play a lot in your favor if you have a nice haircut, you know. I'm just not quite sure where I should put it, but because like when you have a nice haircut, it's very attractive. but it's not enough to be like in the S tier, you know. But it's not because you have a nice haircut that she wouldn't necessarily smash, you know. But having a nice haircut alone is not enough. But if you're displaying many of the other qualities, plus you have a nice haircut, you're definitely like in the A tier, you know. But I think I'm gonna put it in the D tier. She will notices you because you need to display way more than just having a nice haircut to have whatever you want from women, you know. So I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, social circle. So this one is a big one, guys. Your social circle and yeah, you know, your friend group or whatever, where you belong in life is very important. You know, when you have a nice social circle, women, guys, are looking for the top of the food chain, you know. They're looking for the top of the they're looking for the guy at the top of the food chain. So when you have a lot of social status, they want to sleep with you just to be like able to say, to know like that she's been accepted into a group of powerful people, you know. So that's gonna give her a feeling of security and status. And status, guys, is like one of the number one thing that women are looking for, you know, because it's gonna present them with a lot of opportunity and security, you know. And when she sleeps like a guy in a with high status, she kind of like part of the group, and she's kind of under the wing of that guy, under the protection of that guy. So it's very important for women, you know. Plus women are super competitive, you know. They like to brag a lot to their friend and say, oh look, I slept with that guy or whatever. Okay, so this one is super important. I'm gonna put it in the S tier. Like, you could be like a fat dude, you can like be very physically unattractive, and women, just because of your status, she will sleep with you, you know. That goes over everything else in the list. That's the number one. Maybe not like it's comparable to another one in the list, I think, but it's up there, you know. Status is like super important. Like, it's really hard for me like to explain to you how it's important, but I hope you guys get it. Like, it's like the number one, you know. As I told you guys, women are looking for security and all of that. And when people orbit around you because of who you are, other men wants to be like you, you know. You have a lot of connections, you know, you're somebody important. Women want to be part of that, you know, with all the fibers of their body, because it signifies security and opportunities, you know. She's gonna be safe. Even like, one of the other reason why it's important, because even if it doesn't work out with you, she still kind of have access to the social circle if she managed to connect with other part of the group, you know. So her life is gonna improve if you introduce her to your circle, you know. So this one goes definitely up there. Let's say like you are like a rock star, you know, you sleep with one of the band, or you're a rapper, and while she was sleeping with that guy introduced her to other part of the group or the athlete team, you know. She's still gonna have a chance like to still be part of that group, even if it doesn't work out with that guy. So this one definitely go in the S tier. Nice job. So guys, here you have a nice job. So you see, like in the image that I select, is somebody at work in the office who's depressed. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Having a nice job, guys, pretty much gonna guarantee you to have a woman. Sorry, one moment. Let's start over. Okay, so the one that we're gonna do next is having a nice job. So having a nice job, guys, is pretty much gonna guarantee you a relationship to deal with a woman, you know. Not even a relationship, but you're gonna deal with a woman in some kind of fashion. For the image, guys, I selected a guy at the office who's kind of depressed. You know, and that's pretty much how your life will be when you have a nice job. You're gonna have a woman, you're gonna have a job, but you're gonna have a lot of responsibilities, and you're not gonna have pretty much any freedom. Now let's go over it in details. So here's the thing, guys. When you have a nice job, it proves to women that you're someone who's stable. It doesn't matter how she wants to deal with you, whether it's just like to be in a relationship or just to extract money from you without even being like in a relationship. Women will kind of keep you in like under their they're gonna keep an eye on you, just because you have a nice job. Let's say like she doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, some women might try to take advantage from you, like to extract as much resources as possible. When you're in a relationship and the most you have to offer is pretty much a nice job, because you're not displaying any of the other qualities, or you're lacking qualities as an attractive guy. You're still gonna have potential with women, but it's gonna be like a transactional relationship with women. So when you have a nice job, you're pretty much guaranteed a female, but like not the kind of relationship you're looking for. Let's say like because when you have a job, you're gonna be stable, you're gonna provide her with resources. And a lot of women, especially after 30, when they're desperate to start a family, they're looking for a provider. And when you have a nice stable job, that's what you're gonna give her. So this is why you have like the depressed guy in the picture, because you're gonna kill yourself at work, and you're gonna pretty much all you're gonna do with your resources, it's go towards like the family life, towards the family, towards the date, towards the kid. And that's gonna be your life, guys, if you have like a nice job. If you want more in life, you should like make like way more money. But if the only thing you have for yourself is a nice job, you're gonna be relationship material. Even if you're not that attractive, just having a stable job will get you in a relationship. So this one is important. This one, guys, if you have a nice job right now but you're not displaying the other qualities, you're in a good position. You're not in the ideal position, but it's a good position to be in, because you're still gonna deal with a woman, even if it's not like ideal, but you still can improve other areas in your life so that in the future she might respect you more, or you can just look for something better. So this one will be in the B tier, relationship material. If you want to have a long-term relationship, like I'm talking about a long-term relationship, I'm not talking about somebody who's in his 20s, jobless, who still can get like a lot of women. Those guys, like maybe in their 20s, maybe early 30s. The early 30s is much rare, way more rare. But if you're in your 20s and you're jobless, but you're displaying a lot of the other qualities, you're not gonna have any problem with women. But she might leave you if you're not upgrading in your life. But if you have a great job, like after 30, it becomes like very important for women. So this one will be in the B tier, relationship material. Alright, let's go to another one. So this one is kindness. So here's the thing with kindness. I will try my best to explain to you the dynamic with women when you're somebody who's kind. So kindness won't go in the S tier. Let's go like one by one. Let's go in the S tier. You won't be in the S tier because kindness alone won't do it. And for a woman to lust over you, she's not really looking for kindness. That's in fact at the bottom of the list. so it won't go in the S tier. Very attractive. Kindness, it can be kind of attractive if you're displaying other qualities, but kindness alone won't do it. Relationship material. To be in a relationship with a woman, if it's not like 100% transactional, kindness is a prerequisite to be in a relationship, But if you're not displaying other attractive qualities, you won't be smashing because you're kind, and she won't really notice you just because you're kind. So this one's gonna go straight in the F tier, friend zone. That's the trap where a lot of guys falls in, like the nice guy, who's always in the friend zone. Why? Because being kind, guys, is not enough. Like, it's enough to be in a relationship if you have other attractive qualities, like, okay, you have a stable income and you're kind. Okay, she can see the potential to be in a relationship with you, and let's say like you're good enough to take care of yourself, and you don't look completely creepy. Okay, you're gonna go in the B tier, but otherwise, if you're only kind, the only quality you're displaying is being kind, it won't do nothing for women. At that point, they can go look for a puppy or a cat or whatever. That's gonna pretty much do the same thing for them. You're gonna go in the friend zone because you will be giving her free attention because you're kind. You're gonna help her because you're kind, and you're gonna be nice to her because you're kind. You're gonna be there like for her to cry on your shoulder because you're that kind of guy. But she's not gonna be sexually attractive. So, as I'm telling you guys, to be like in a relationship with women, you need kindness. But without if you're not displaying any of the other qualities, you're gonna go straight to the friend zone. So kindness alone is not enough. All right, let's go to the next one. So here we have a woman laughing. All right, when you can make a woman laugh, it's kind of a superpower, guys. For me personally, I can tell you, like, I don't have it at all. Like, I don't know how to make women laugh, like I suck at this, But if you're able to do it, I kind of hesitate to put it in the S tier, but it won't go in the S tier because the S tier is very like, she looks at you and she wants to sleep with you, like, you don't even have to make her laugh, But I think I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Because when you can make a woman laugh, you're kind of disarming every part of her that's on the edge, on the fence about you. You're kind of disarming her. She's gonna feel good with you. She's gonna feel confident with you, and she really gonna like you if you can make her laugh. You don't have to be that attractive, as long as you don't completely look like Orger from Lord of the Ring. You can go a long way with making women laugh. It can go over like way, like it can beat like a lot of other attractive qualities that men have to attract women. When you can make her laugh, it goes a very long way. Me personally, I'm telling you, I'm not a funny guy, Maybe I can crack jokes like here and there, but other than that, I pretty much suck at it. But if you're able to make women laugh, it will go a long way. Alright, so because I'm not too familiar with that sphere, I'm gonna leave it at that. But it's definitely something to be to develop if you're looking to be as much attractive as possible with women. Alright. Okay, now respect. Yeah, you're respectful towards women. So this one, guys, is very important. Once again, it's kind of like with kindness. If you want to be in a relationship with women, you need to be respectful. She needs to see that you're a potential stable long-term partner, and respect is part of it. Let's say you're displaying a lot of C qualities, or A qualities or S tier qualities. Uh, with respect and kindness, you can have everything you want from a woman, But with respect alone, it's gonna go in the F tier friend zone. Well, I'm not sure. With respect alone, I think I'm gonna put it in the D tier. She notices you. Because respect is very different from kindness. Because when you're respectful, you're kind of giving like the minimum courtesy that you're supposed to give to human beings in general. So when you're somebody who's respectful, she's gonna notices you, and you kind of have one step in for other potential benefit that you want to have from women. So I'm gonna put it in the D tier. She notices you. If you want to be in a relationship, you need to have respect plus kindness plus other attractive qualities, But with just respect, she's gonna notices you. You kind of gonna separate yourself from the masses a little bit just by being respectful.